Hello everybody, you're welcome back again to the Reggae Appreciation Society. Africa has been among the favorite destinations of reggae artists for decades, with the likes of Jimmy Cliff, U-Roy, Judy Mowat, Bob Marley, and so many others paying visits to the motherland to perform or just to connect with their roots. Their experiences on the continent have ranged from wonderful, unpleasant, or sometimes downright hilarious. One notable example of this was dancehall legend Shabba Ranks' visit to Nigeria in 1992. He was just one of several big international acts who were booked to perform at a massive music festival organized to raise money for charity. It was Shabba's first visit to the continent, and his Nigerian fans were itching to see the then red-hot superstar do his thing in the flesh. But all those plans would change, all thanks to an epic smoke-off challenge between him and a legendary Nigerian musician, which would end in disaster and in ways that nobody expected. Let's take a look at the Shabba Ranks vs Fela Kuti epic Ganja Showdown gone wrong. Now this story begins in 1991. The World Health Organization put out a grim report that revealed an extremely high mortality rate for African children from preventable diseases. It sparked a lot of outrage and sympathy, both home and abroad. And one person who was moved into action was the then young Nigerian multi-millionaire called Onwukakalu. He got a bright idea to organize and fund a massive benefit concert in the country's capital of Lagos, and had a plan for all the money to go to charity for kids. An extravaganza that would feature some of the hottest artists and celebrities from around the globe. To bring this vision to life, he formed a company called the Children of Africa Organization in the same year to serve as the promoters for the event. Kalu was extremely rich and a really connected guy, and he pulled out all the stops to make that show a world-class event. The country's then military head of state, General Babangida, promised to attend, and he also got a commitment from Nelson Mandela, who had just been released from prison, as well as other dignitaries like British Parliament member Paul Boateng, and the artists on the roster were also a spectacular lineup. He secured the participation of American singer Dionne Warwick, South African legend Miriam Makeba, American blues legend B.B. King, Lionel Richie and the Commodores, Kool and the Gang, Aswad, Third World, and the one and only Shabba Ranks. As far as the reggae dancehall scene was concerned in those times, there was no one hotter than Shabba. He had bagged the Grammy for Best Reggae Album for his 1991 release Raw as Ever, and scored a massive worldwide smash hit with the track House Call featuring UK artist Maxi Priest. In the build-up to the concert, his song Mr. Loverman became another monster worldwide hit, and his next album Extra Naked also bagged the Grammy for Best Reggae Album. Shabba was a global megastar, but in Africa he was practically worshipped and had a particularly fanatical fan base in Nigeria. In simple terms, the star attraction for the Children of Africa concert was Shabba Ranks. So now let's fast forward to late 1992. The 3-day festival was scheduled to hold at Nigeria's National Stadium in Lagos between Saturday 28th of November and Monday the 30th. And a few days before, all the artists began to arrive, including Shabba, who came into Lagos 2 days to the show. Now if there's one Nigerian musician who was always fascinated Jamaican reggae artists, it was the great Fela Kuti, the creator of the fusion of African sound, jazz and funk known as Afrobeat, an activist and herb connoisseur of legendary proportions. And just like the great stepping razor Peter Tosh had done, Shabba decided to pay Fela Kuti a visit at his famous nightclub called the Africa Shrine on the morning of the day he was to perform. The then 27-year-old Shabba Ranks was in his rambunctious and energetic prime, and when he met Fela, the pair hit it off immediately, and at some point in their discussions, reportedly began to debate on whose herbs were stronger, Nigerian or Jamaican. Shabba, in his cocky fashion, began to boast that he would outsmoke Fela any day, and threw a challenge down to the veteran musician on who could smoke more. Bad idea. Fela happily accepted the challenge and sent for a huge bag of herb, and the contest would begin. Their smoke-off reportedly went on for over 5 hours, after which Shabba just passed out and fell deeply asleep. Shabba's team panicked, and when they couldn't wake him up, they hauled him out of there, put him in a car, and drove him back to the 5-star Sheraton Hotel where he and the other artists were staying, and was about 20 minutes to the venue. Shabba was built to be on stage in a few hours, so his team carried him into his room to get some rest and recharge his batteries just in time. But when his head touched the pillow, he fell into a deep, heavy sleep and didn't wake up till the next day, driving the promoters crazy. In simple terms, Shabba's absence had been a big disaster, as the bulk of the fans had filled the National Stadium to get a glimpse of the then hottest reggae artist on the globe, and it took a miracle for the evening's affair not to descend into violence. Other artists, like American singer Karen White, Melba Moore, and R&B group Color Me Bad, all did their thing that evening, with actor Danny Glover even making a special appearance. But Shabba's absence was a gaping hole that is talked about till this day. And as far as I know, Shabba Ranks never performed in Nigeria after that aborted performance. The news of his defeat in that legendary smoke-off has over the years been one of the most talked about laws of that event, even more than its primary aim of raising money for charity. Interestingly, the smoking contest with Fela wasn't the first between that Nigerian musician and a Jamaican artist, as he and Peter Tosh reportedly went head-to-head when the Stepping Razor visited Lagos 10 years earlier in 1982. But that particular contest ended in a draw, as both men reportedly earned each other's respect. But Shabba would visit Africa again 2 years later in 1994, when he went to South Africa to show solidarity and lend support to Nelson Mandela, who was running for president that same year. And he never ran into Fela again, as the Afrobeat legend passed away in 1997. But I'm certain that even if he did, there's simply no way that he would have challenged him to another smoking contest. So there you have it. Thank you for watching this video today. Please leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, God bless.